everybody, and welcome to the Dual Screens Gamescast. I am one of your hosts, Steven Fontana, and that over there and the other voice you're about to hear is Andy Asimakis. How are you, Andy?
I feel good.
You
A
do,
lot
huh?
of stuff happened last week, and it's a lot to unpack, as they say.
We have a lot to go over.
Unpack all of it.
Yeah,
I can't wait
it's gonna be
to
yeah, it's gonna be good.
dive right in.
It's gonna be good. So, did you do anything interesting this weekend? I know you had some guests. I know that you were going. Valentine's Day was this weekend.
Yeah,
Any fun Valentine's Day plans?
we went to a ramen joint called
Oh.
Hinu Ramen here in Astoria. Had some ribs. I love the ribs. Got that sweet chili sauce. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And had a nice
Mm-hmm.
bowl of no ramen though, which is odd for a ramen spot. I had
That's weird.
had
That's
one of
weird.
those like yakudan things. It was like rice with the shredded beef and like onions and stuff.
Sure.
That was kind of good.
Sure.
Brother came by. He made us steak sandwiches. That was pleasant. We watched a movie. We played some video games. Oh, and I almost got close to beating one game in my backlog. So that's for later on.
Yes.
Then later.
Yes. That is for later on now, isn't it?
Yes.
I for
One last thing.
Yes.
One last thing.
Yes.
I
One
started
last thing.
playing The Outer Worlds,
Oh.
and all I have to say is Fallout. What? Who?
Oh.
It's
We'll
just
talk about
yeah.
that. We'll talk about that
We'll
in,
talk about
in
it. But
Adventures in
yeah,
Gaming.
yeah.
I went on a date on Saturday. We did not do
Did your
Friday
wife
because
know?
we didn't have a sitter. So we went on a date. We went to this restaurant called Chela. It's
Ooh.
a Mexican American tequila bar and restaurant. We Ubered there, and Andy, I have an Uber story.
Uh-oh, were you harassed? Were you molested?
No, no, we were picked up
Uh-huh.
in one of the latest Tesla models.
Okay.
It was
Going green
the
for
future.
VJ.
Holy crap. This car, I couldn't figure out how to open the door because you have to push this little handle and then the handle pop like this little thing and then the handle pivots out and then you pull it open and then to open the door from the inside, it's a button. You push a button and then push the door and then it pops open. There's no handle. There was no roof. It was all glass. It was crazy. There was no dashboard,
Did
Andy. It was
you
just a
Instagram
17
this
inch.
or Snapchat
What?
this or
No.
Facebook
We didn't
Live
do it.
this?
No, I felt like that was going to be like rude, but there's no dashboard. He's got the steering wheel and then next to him in the center console is like a 17-inch iPad. That's what it looks like. And that's where all of his information is. There was a little picture of his car and anytime that he was going past other cars, it would like show up like radar, like
Hmm.
sonar, like on the screen. It was nuts. It was so cool and it made not a sound. It was really, really
Wow.
weird. Yes, he had a third of a battery, not a tank, a battery, and he had 147 miles to go on that third of a battery. So I assume he's going to get like close to like 400 miles to a full charge, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that was my adventures. Oh, and for the first time in a very long time, I actually got a little drunk, which is why we took
Are you like
Uber.
getting pre-drunk, like preparing for 2 weeks from now? What's gonna happen in Boston?
I see it. I don't know. I don't know, but tequila has become my
You owe
nemesis
me you
because
owe
I
me at
enjoy it.
least one drunk night over there. We have several nights together.
Yeah,
One, you have
but
to
we
get
also booked
completely
everything. Anyway, welcome. This
obliterated.
For those who don't know, this is the Dual Screens Gamescast. This is a show where Andy and I we're going to go over the all the news that you need to know about, and what we're going to do is we're going to pit them up against each other and see who are the biggest winners and losers. And we're also going to discuss gaming's past, present, and future. This show posts each and every Monday for your listening pleasure on your podcast service of choice, including Podbean, which we always forget to mention, but that's our main platform. That's where we post the show, and then Podbean sends it to everything else. What does it send it to? It sends it to iHeartRadio, it sends it to Spotify, it sends it to iTunes. Listen, if you're listening on iTunes, give us a 5-star review if you like the show, if you think we deserve it, and leave us a review. And like leave us a little comment. We'll read it. We'll read your comments. And you know what? I'll check right now. I'll check right now to see if we got anything live right here on this show. It's so simple. Reviews. Let's see. We got one. We got one.
You
We
got a
got
new
one
one?
from somebody that's in the chat right now.
Holy shit.
This is from our very good friend and somebody who is essentially part of our family and is going to be with us at PAX East. This is from Well, actually, I don't know if this is from Matt. This could be from another Murray, but it's Murray 1021.
Ooh.
The 5 stars. Indie interview heaven. I've been looking for a show like this for so long. These two guys put out some of the absolute best interviews with indie devs, voice actors, and industry insiders I've ever heard. They're two natural entertainers with some seriously infectious energy. Would highly recommend to anyone who is into gaming at all. Booyah. Look at that.
That
5 stars.
that is a flawless review.
We appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. Also, you can find this on YouTube, where I'll edit it and throw it up. On this week's show, we're going to be talking about how Sony might be taking a huge loss with PS5. Nintendo hasn't been very direct with us in a very, very long time. And Microsoft is getting back into the cell phone business, maybe? Back into it? Do they still make phones? Who knows? But they've made some cell-ish announcements. But before we get into the show, let's tell you about our other shows that we've been doing. So this past Thursday and each and every Thursday, we do the Dual Screens podcast, which is the one that review was all about. That's the interview show where we bring on an industry guest to tell us their story. You can catch that right here, like I said, each and every Thursday. Last week's show, we had Stephen Danton and Sarah Kitamura, who are the husband and wife team that is making Unto the End. They're 2 Ton Studios, and they're making Unto the End. And if you want to hear some awesome stories about how they're making that game and how they've made games together as a married couple, you have to check out that show. That posted on this Thursday. Also, we posted on this Friday and also this coming Friday. We are going to have Andy Explains It All. And this past episode of Andy Explains It All was all about Parasite Eve. And I learned way more about biology than I ever thought I would.
That was
in a
my best
podcast.
one yet. I feel that was a good one. That was a
I
very
think.
succinct.
See, yes, it was your most well thought out and planned.
Right.
It was probably the one that I was most intrigued with
Hmm.
because of the game, like the science of the game was actually really intriguing. I was always intrigued with science as a kid. So
You know what?
anyway, so yeah.
I got some comments saying that from some listeners that the
Oh,
novel was a total new thing for them. That they thought
oh,
like the game was the first, was the
interesting.
origin for the series. But nope, there was a book and then a movie about a
Mm.
book.
Well, just like Parasite Eve had the novel as its foundation, our foundation is patreon.com. So if you go to patreon.com/NDS podcast and support us, you help make these shows possible. Just like our Patreon producer, Colton, the apprentice Nestler. Colton, you are one of our favorite people. We love you very much, and we love having your support. And remember, folks, you could support us for as little as $1. You get a bonus episode, and you get to hang out in our VIP Discord channel. So head over there, patreon.com/NDS podcast. Give us a boost. Give us a boost. We're going into PAX East. We want people who go there and see us. They see that we have a bunch of people. We do have a very hardcore listening base, but if you were ever on the fence, you can get a crazy amount of content. We put bonus content up every week, every month. You could record a show with us if you support us at a certain tier. It's great. It's awesome. All right, let's get into the show. Let's start
What
with
is that
adventures
clamoring back there?
in gaming, 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 gaming. Andy,
Yeah.
what have you been gaming this week?
I feel bad that I jumped on the Outer Worlds train this late in the game. It's been out for a while, but I finally got my hands on it. I know I should be buying new games, but I was watching
It
I was
happens.
watching some videos, and I was like, man, I hated Fallout 4 and Fallout 76 so much.
Yeah.
So I bought it, and it just feels like, why didn't we get more from this team before? Why couldn't they
Mm.
have done a New Vegas 2? Why couldn't they have done
Yeah.
Fallout 4? But you know what? I feel like at this point, I don't need that franchise anymore. There is a new Fallout in town. That's Outer Worlds. Dude,
Well,
it is so well written, so well acted. The gameplay is tight. And I'm like maybe 8 hours deep. I was hooked
mm.
all through last night into this morning-ish.
Well, if you're gonna play that next gen, the next one's all gonna be Microsoft. Maybe PC if you got one.
Yeah, I mean,
If you got one that
it
could run.
likely will be PC.
No, it will be. It will be
Yeah.
PC, but at the same time, it's not a Sony thing, so you're not gonna
Well,
be able to get that.
listen, there's not going to be any Series X exclusives for the first 2 years, so I'll play it on my Xbox
Year and a
if I
half.
wanted to.
So what? So without getting into your backlog, was there anything else you've been playing?
Not really. Oh, I
Okay,
played some Super
fair
Hot,
enough.
like a little bit, because I was in the mood for Super Hot.
Super hot, super hot.
Hot.
Um.
And
So
yourself?
what have I been playing?
You were backlog heavy this weekend. I saw that much.
I had a backlog weekend.
Yeah.
That's true. And I'll save that for the backlog. But just to let you know, I did start playing Horizon again to get through it. But
Mhm.
we'll talk about that in the backlog. Playing Apex, of course, which that doesn't fail. Although I had a light week with Apex this week, as Mikey Kirsch will tell you in the chat. Just haven't been around for that. Playing more of DBZ. I am up to the Android saga, so I'm excited about that. I'm going to jump right into that at some point this week. I want to finish my backlog game, one of the two that I have remaining.
10 days.
Not it's not 10 days.
We're,
Well, yeah, I
we're,
guess
we're
it is.
meeting, like, we're gonna be there in 10 days,
I know.
and by the time we get back, the month's over.
It's all I'm up to the whatever. Save it for backlog. Save it for the post show. That's the post show, guys. The Backlog Accountability Club. So come hang out. All right. Patreon.com/NDS podcast. What else? I've been let me think. Let me think. Let me
I
think.
have one more game I should mention, but it's
Okay.
tied to a segment. What?
What?
What could that be? I
What?
know.
Well, before you get into that,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
time for a minute of Apex
Oh, it's my
Legends.
favorite segment of the whole show.
So, as I said, I haven't been playing too much, but when I do play, what's cool about this season is that they added a fourth daily goal. So now you have 4 goals instead of 3, which makes it a little easier to level up the battle pass. The battle pass is pretty weak. I'm not gonna lie. The unlockables are kind of, but whatever. I had points, so I got the battle pass. Um, However, the weeklies I've noticed have been pretty tough for me. There's a lot of double digit stuff to do. For example, I have one that is down 25 people with a certain player. Another one is play 20 games with a certain character, and a lot of that stuff. So, and one of them is open 10 bins. I have a weekly that's open 10 bins in each
What?
location in 4 locations. It's really annoying to do that. But whatever. I'm getting through it. I'm having
So
fun.
wait, for
Duos has been fun, and Duos ends tomorrow.
was that
10 more seconds.
okay? Well, it has to stop though. But before we move on,
You can ask me a
for
question.
plebs like me that are just
hmm
unlearned and big dum dums, what is a
hmm
bin?
That's just like the stuff that
Is it-
when you land and you're looking for loot.
Oh,
Not like loot boxes. Not that stuff. Just
yeah.
like where you get
I
guns and
thought it was a
ammo. So
chest. Is it like a chest?
yeah,
Okay,
essentially.
sure.
If
Great.
you want to play with me and our family here at Dual Screens with Mikey Kirsch and whoever else, Andrew and all them, just add me on PSN. I am at Batchild27, which is the same as my Twitter, and it's right here under my name if you're watching the show. All right, Andy, it's time for the indie news update. What do you got for me?
All right. So for the first bit of news, one of my favorite roguelike games ever, which I would have many, is getting a sequel.
Oh,
Battery Staple Games. It's an awesome name, by the way.
okay.
Had a game that was a Mega Man X homage
Mm-hmm.
called 20XX.
Yes, I remember this.
Now, that game was great, but it had
Mm-hmm.
one sort of not a fatal flaw, but it was a flaw enough for most Mega Man fans, is that it looked like a shitty
Interesting.
Flash game.
Okay.
The graphics weren't the best.
Mighty Number 9 looked like a shitty Flash game.
I.e., this looked worse. It looked like, again, it looked cheap. Tight gameplay, fun bosses, fun weapons, but it
Sure.
looked on the cheap side. So, they've announced a sequel that they're going to show off at PAX East. It's our first thing of the whole weekend, actually. Well, prior to some other AAA things that we'll get into.
Boner alert.
Right, it's super boner. So 30XX is coming out in the year 2021, but this
Okay.
time around they've hired the artist from Rogue Legacy, Glabor Kotaki.
Great
Hope I got that
get.
name right. And it actually looks like a proper pixel game. So you take the gameplay that made 20XX great, but when you add the actual graphical look of a Mega Man X game, it's just the perfect package. So this is
And
going to
it's
be
and it said it was co-op too, right? Like one
right,
person plays the melee
right.
character or the zero-ish
Yes,
character or
and someone
whatever.
plays the X character. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Tina and Ace are the characters' names. So I was super excited about that, but I was a little bit upset because they had on the docket for PAX East, there was the unannounced game from them. I was like, ooh, what could it be? But now it's all spoiled because I like surprises
I have a
sometimes.
question.
Sure.
Question for the class. How does this not fall in the same bucket as that quote unquote plagiarized Cuphead game?
Oh, don't you know it's only for different things. So if you realize something, now I want to refer back to that really weird like Animal Crossing thing from last week. It was not in our
Uh-huh.
news, but it was like a clear Animal Crossing clone that launched on Steam.
All right.
Forget what it was called.
Sure.
But there's a weird thing with quote unquote plagiarism and certain games. There's times when I'll see a game, it's like so and so looks like so and so, and that's totally okay. And then you'll
Uh-huh.
see so and so is a rip off of this, and it's shameless. Well, which one is it? Is it okay or is it shameless? I don't understand. Pick a lane,
Uh-huh.
people. Like, which
Uh-huh.
one is it?
Now, is it just because it's a roguelite, it's not a Mega Man
Well,
like,
listen.
but it looks exactly
Hello.
like Mega Man
There's
Zero
okay.
or Mega Man X and
The
Zero,
dude
whatever the
has like
fuck.
a fucking saber. It's fucking
He's got a
zero.
lightsaber for God's
There's
sakes
a
and a
guy,
ponytail,
dude has a saber, and a guy with a black
long
thing.
hair,
And the color scheme is identical. So I don't know, people. Wake
whatever.
up. Like again, like consistency. That's all I care about. If you're gonna argue your point, it has to always be consistent.
Correct.
Can't all be politicians. All right. Let's all just
Flip
get it.
flops.
Yes. But there's one more news bit for our indie segment this week, Steven.
All right.
One of our favorite games from PAX East last year, Blood Roots. The
Yeah.
release date
Yes, it does.
coming February 28th.
Yes.
And that goes into my
And
earlier, like hinting, foreshadowing.
foreshadow.
I got a review code.
Hell yeah, you did.
And I've been
And they're
playing it.
and they're gonna be on the show very soon.
Yes, and it's fucking amazing. So if
Can't
you
wait.
like Kill Bill and like Wild West stories and like blood and guts everywhere, this is a game for you. That's all I'm gonna say. Because embargo shits. But you'll see
Embargo.
full review coming in pretty soon, guys. All right, moving on.
Coming soon. All right. So before we get into the dual screens report, which again, for those of you who don't know, that's where we pick one story for each of the three big companies and then a wild card, and we just declare the winners and losers. We're going to tell you what didn't make the cut, and we're going to start with all the Sony stories that didn't make the cut. Excuse me. Andy, why don't you take the first one since you're already highlighted over it?
Yes, so Sony unveiled their PAX East 2020 lineup, and
Mm-hmm.
it is quite the doozy for us because we're going, which is great. So
Yep.
we can expect great games like Below, Cloudpunk,
Mm.
Doom Eternal, Dryams, FF7 Remake, Genshin Impact, which looks kind of cute. You were like into the Dark Cloud feel of that game, I recall.
Yeah, yeah,
when I
yeah. It
brought it to your
definitely
attention.
feels. Yeah.
Born, which I don't know what that's about. Haven, from our friends the Game Bakers, makers of
Yeah.
Foodie, Last of Us Part 2. That's like, I think, you need a whole day for that, I feel.
They said it's an hour. They
So,
said that the demo's an hour. It's
people,
gonna be a
this is
problem.
what's going to happen at this point is we're going to fight tooth and nail to get Neil Druckmann on the show,
It's gonna
on the
happen.
podcast proper.
It's not gonna happen.
What else? Iron Man, Iron Man VR, LMB The Show 20, Mosaic, Moving Out, Neo 2, and a few more standouts here: Paper Beast, Persona 5 Royal, Predator.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a lot of fun.
I want to play that. Yeah.
Space Channel 5 VR, Spelunky 2, and some other ones. Trials of Mana, but a lot solid lineup from them.
Lots of games.
Yeah.
A lot of games,
Yeah.
actually.
Tons of games.
Very surprised about this. All right, next one that did not make the cut. So there's new screenshots for the Final Fantasy VII remake, and it shows side quests that you can do,
Mhm.
which have not been weren't in the previous game, which I guess could expand upon the whole fact that this is only in what is it, Midgard?
Midgar, yeah.
Midgar? Yes,
Midgard.
right.
Is it Midgard?
I always get them confused.
Right.
Red 13 or Red XIII,
It's Red
Uh,
G.
whatever.
I'm totally fucking with you.
who again also wasn't in that part of the game, the original game. A lot of the summons, spoiler alert. You're gonna have your also the action shots of Tifa. It's really cool.
And you get some summon screenshots too.
Yes,
You got a
yeah, that's what I was
Cactuar.
just getting to.
Oh my god, I'm so excited about that.
Cactuar, baby Chocobo,
With a fucking whacked out
and a lot
fro.
of people were very upset about the look of Carbuncle. Bunkle,
Right. That's what.
which
That's one look you really can't afford to get
shut
wrong.
up, just shut up. Who cares?
Wait, it's missing. We're
And
missing a Tomberry though. Bring Tomberry back. He's a fun summon.
And the final story here from Sony is that Dreams is out and it is getting pretty good reviews. IGN gave it a 9.0. I just
I'm
wanted
gonna stop you right there.
to. Okay.
So I feel like you're sort of. This could have been a potential big story, Sony's big win
Mm-hmm.
for the week.
Yep.
But I get how the one you picked kind of takes more precedent over this story.
Sure.
But I want to make two notes for Dreams.
Okay.
And I think Media Molecule is like the quiet winner of the whole shit this week for a few reasons. One of all, this was first revealed in the PS4 reveal 7 years ago. Finally came out.
Mm-hmm.
Two of all, it has currently a 91 Metacritic score. So massive, massive critical acclaim across the board. High tens, high nines. And thirdly, this game broke the top 10 sales charts in UK already, which for a game with zero marketing and it's very niche compared to like FIFA and Call of Duty, it's in the top 10 sales. Oh, plus side note, Yakuza Collection was number 3 this week in the UK, which is awesome for
Nice.
Yakuza fans. But there's that. So congrats to Sony and Media Molecule. You made a great game. It is a lot of fun, I must say.
Yeah, Matt Murray, who again friend of the show, big time listener, big time contributor. He's actually scouting for me because the only thing I would really want to do in that game is just play creations, but also I want to do voiceover work, but I don't know how that's gonna work. Like it's not some like you can't just go in there and just like record lines and somebody uses them. Like you need to market yourself and say, hey, these are the things I can do, and then I would assume, get a script, and then you could record them and give them to. I don't know how that works. So he's gonna scout that out for me because I don't want to spend the money if I'm not gonna be able to do something like that. Because that's like the only thing I would contribute creatively is vocal stuff, character voices and whatnot.
Right.
Um, so yeah, those are the Sony stuff that didn't make the doc. Now let's go to Xbox. Andy, take this one away.
So Microsoft or Xbox insiders can be the first to preview Obsidian's new game Grounded, which apparently is a game where you shrink down as an ant and you kill shit. It's from Obsidian. Those guys
Mm-hmm.
made my current obsession Outer Worlds. And I'm just
Yep.
like, can you just make them Outer Worlds too? I don't want this crap. It looks okay. It's a survival
It
game.
looks okay. It's a survival game. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids,
Right.
survival like game. So we'll see what
I
happens.
want to play more.
Also, what didn't make the cut is the next week on Xbox, the new games for February 18th to 21st. This came from the Xbox.com. So they got DLC, the game coming February 18th. That's the official video game of the Drone Champions League. And then there's Bayonetta and Vanquish 10th anniversary bundle, February 8th. Yeah. Uh huh. This is shit that Buzz puts in our goddamn Discord.
What the fuck is this drone game? Is this real?
Yeah, it's real.
This is
Bayonetta
this is
and
just
Vanquish
Monster
10th
Energy.
anniversary bundle. Don't dwell on drones,
I'm
okay?
sorry.
The Vanquish and Bayonetta anniversary bundles coming out. Bunny parking. The city, surrounded by the Great Carrot Wall, is a place of myth where cars that have dared to drive through it are stuck forever in the parking lot. And then it's left up to the residents to come to the rescue. Bunnies. Play alone or with friends in co-op, helping cars get out of parking lot by removing poorly parked cars that block your way by kicking them. That is the description.
That sounds more fun than this fucking drone game.
Lost Artifacts coming February 19th. Thief Simulator coming February 19th. Nighton Plus coming February 19th. Reigns Game of Thrones, which I think that's a card game. Draugen
Sure.
Xbox One X Enhanced Edition. Ailment is coming the 21st. That's also Enhanced Edition. Uncharted Tides. Copyright claim that shit. Naughty Dog. Uncharted Tides Royal or Royale, and that's the wrap for those games. All right, so this next one, Andy, why don't you take that
How,
one? Again, this one did
how
not make the cut.
how is this not hype? There's the Xbox Air Jordans
Yep,
apparently.
yep. A lot of people are really excited about that, Andy. I
Sure.
don't know why.
Yeah, I don't quite get it myself, but it's got almost 1 million views on Twitter.
Yes, it does.
Oof, why are they? But they're red though. Oh, like a red ring? Is that what they're trying to call
That's
back to?
exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Correct.
Okay, cool. Moving on.
All right, so this next one could have been a real story, but it did not make the cut. And this is that Xbox Series X download sizes could shrink with AI tech that works, quote, scarily well. So if you go to Games Radar, there's an article about this. I'm just going to kind of summarize it, but essentially, um, the way it works here's a quote. One of the studios inside Microsoft has been experimenting with using machine learning models for asset generation. It's working scarily well to the point where we're looking at shipping really low res textures and having models up res the textures in real time. So essentially, they're putting really low res games on the disk or in the file. So like if you're downloading, it's going to be shitty low res stuff, but AI in the system or in the cloud actually rebuilds the textures using this AI and predicting and like all of that stuff. So that's going to be a really scarily awesome way to send massive files that or massive would be massive files that really truncated, and it'll make it a lot easier to get these games. And which also makes me wonder if this is a potential solution to cloud gaming for people who don't have crazy big internet. It's like maybe it's streaming lower textures, and then they can have this AI. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work, but whatever. It's an interesting thing. Go look it up if you want to know more about it. It's way beyond my knowledge of AI and tech downloads and all that crap. So for Nintendo, there was only one story that didn't make the cut. Nintendo's been very quiet. Andy, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so Nintendo revealed some. Oh god damn it! There's ads. Get
Oh
up
God! Oh God! Oh
ads.
God!
I have ad blocker. You go. It's like delaying me. You say this. There's games coming to NES and SNES.
Yeah, we got some games coming to NES, SNES. A couple of releases. Nothing crazy here. I have actually a little screen grab of it. So what do we got? Oh God! It's a video. Stop doing that.
What is weird
Um,
website you pointed us to? The
I don't know. It was the first one that showed
nerdstash.com?
up. So Super NES for Nintendo Switch Online is getting Poppin' Twinbee and
Love it.
Smash Tennis, and NES Nintendo Switch Online is getting Shadow of the Ninja and Eliminator Boat Duel. So big, huge, steaming pile of garbage for that we're getting for our $20 a year. So thank you very much for that, Nintendo.
Totally worth it.
Um, God damn that's just butt. It's butt is what it is.
$20 a year. That's what it get you.
And our wild card, which did not one of the two wild cards that did not make the list. Andy, you want to take that one?
Yeah. So Remedy is jumping into the live service multiplayer game pool. Do we need more of these? So it's all very sort of hush hush and not much known situation.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like it could be like another third-person shooter title that's going to incorporate some sort of multiplayer component. I
All right.
I don't quite understand. Remedy does one thing well. It does really great single-player story-driven experiences.
Sure.
Let's just keep it that way. I mean, I know you're doing a lot of things at once. You got a DLC for Control. You're working on the single-player campaign for Crossfire X, the most hyped game of all time.
They're just diversifying
Right.
it, I feel, but like
Right.
I feel like in where they are as a company, like Control, and we'll get to this a little bit later, but Control is a hit, and
It is, but I don't think they have the clout to launch this whole a streaming game service.
well,
Like
that's what
a
I'm
live
saying. Like,
service multiplayer game.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, you did Control,
Right.
kind of put your eggs in that basket for a little while, build your name up a little bit, and go out there and make another one of those
Or
of those
just
type of games. I
listen.
don't know.
They just became free for Microsoft. Give us all Alan Wake 2. and then with that money, which you'll make undoubtedly heaps of, then do some weird shit with it. Totally fine with that.
You know
But
you
first,
wanna.
yeah, I know they want to. All
You
right,
know you wanna.
what's going on next over
All
here?
right, so the next one, Detroit Become Human success allows Quantic Dream to self-publish future games. This is from Polygon. After 23 years of working with publishers, Quantic Dream no longer has to rely on them for funding. The developer behind the games Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human will self-publish games in the future. In a statement published Thursday on the company's website, Quantic Dream explained that this move will help the company have more creative power over its own projects. Quote, we are doing this to preserve our freedom and our independence, to continue working on innovative and even more ambitious projects. That's essentially that story.
It just
So,
sounds like they're going to secede from the union in that first opening bit
yeah, I know.
to preserve our freedom and our independence.
I feel like Sony never got in their way. Like Sony
No,
doesn't get in the way of their developers. Like
no,
they rarely cancel projects unless they're really going off the rails,
right.
and they kind of just if you're a trusted partner, they just
Dude,
go here,
look at the
make
last
whatever.
look at the last Guardian. That was a 10-year development hell.
Yeah, I don't know how they didn't cancel that.
Even Dreams was a 7-year endeavor, and they still let it happen.
I
So
know. I know.
they trust their talent.
All right, and finally, Untitled Goose Game wins Game of the Year
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened. Wait, what?
for
What?
at the Dice
At
Awards.
the Dice
So,
Awards. Way to
couple of
delegitimize the Dice Awards.
well, let's just look at this. These are all, I guess, these are the Dice Awards winners. I guess Game of the Year Dice Awards winners. You got from 1997 when it started. You have GoldenEye, then Ocarina of Time, The Sims, Diablo 2, Halo Combat Evolved, Battlefield 1942, Call of Duty, Half-Life 2, God of War, Gears of War, Call of Duty 4, Little Big Planet, Uncharted 2, Mass Effect 2, The Elder Scrolls Skyrim, Journey, The Last of Us, Dragon Age Inquisition, Fallout 4, Overwatch, Breath of the Wild, God of War, and Untitled Goose Game.
It just seems so out of touch. Like I don't know. It feels like they're trying to troll their own award show by picking Untitled Goose Game. It's a great game, but I don't think it
Yeah.
deserves like a game of the year amongst when games like Control came out and Sekiro and Resident Evil 2,
Well,
Death Stranding.
Control got Action Game of the Year.
Right.
Um, Adventure Game of the Year was Star Wars Jedi Fallen
Right.
Order.
Mhm.
Family Game of the Year was Super Mario Maker 2. Fighting Game of the Year was Mortal Kombat 11, which I do not agree with. But whatever. Um, let's see. Let's scroll down here. Online Game of the Year, Apex Legends. Give it up. Throw some cranes in the chat if you got them for Apex Legends, winning another Game of the Year award. Get it up there. Get it up. Get it up. Who's got cranes? I know you're in here. At least one person in here has got cranes. For those of you who have no idea what that is, there you go. I'm not going to tell you. Outstanding achievement in animation, Luigi's Mansion 3. That's weird. Art direction, Control. Baba Is You got Game Design Award. Achievement in Story was Disco Elysium, and the Outer Worlds got Role Playing Game of the Year. Sports Game of the Year was FIFA 20. Strategy Sim Game of the Year was Fire Emblem Three Houses. That's really it. So, a couple of great things. I like the Dice Awards. I mean, because that's chosen by developers, right? Is that what that is?
I think so.
I think
I'm
that's
not
that's
entirely
like by the
sure.
peers. Like the peers
Right.
decide who wins that. I think. I'm pretty sure. So,
Right.
whatever. I guess Goose Game was great. All right. Now let's get into the what do you call it? The dual screens report, the proper dual screens report. And again, this is how this is going to work. We are going to give you one story from each of the big three. That's Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. Okay, and then we're going to give you a wild card, a fourth topic, and we're going to declare who the biggest winner and loser is for your entertainment. Andy, we're going to start off with Nintendo. Why don't you give us this first story?
Steven, did you know that it's been 162 days since the last full
At least.
Nintendo Direct? It's been the longest wait since 2016. And the biggest loser is the person that counted those days off. Because who gives a shit that we've had 3 Smash Directs in that time frame? I don't understand. We're approaching E3. It's like around the corner. I don't understand this need, like, it's been so You're not owed anything, people.
I I mean,
There's no big games. I mean, yes, maybe an Animal Crossing Direct. That could be a thing. Possibly.
yeah. So it's 162 days, and this was, I think, a few days ago. So, I mean, it's almost 6 months. It's over 5 months. It's a
Right.
lot of
I know,
months.
I listen. The thirst is very real. I understand this.
The thirst is there, guys.
But there's going to come a point in the next couple of months we're going to be inundated with new headlines.
You know what it is? It's like this is what it's like. So you know how people say that Nintendo is for babies?
Right.
Like it's for kids. It's not. But this is what they do. This is what Nintendo does. Nintendo has this direct that's and if you're watching listener, I'm demonstrating with my water bottle. Nintendo's got this water bottle. That's the big old Pangus it's the nipple. It's the nipple of information. And they just give it and they go mm, mm, mm. And the fans we just love it. We just love it. But they give us so little. They give us so little of that nectar. They give us so little of that Nintendo Direct nectar. You know what I mean? And they gave us some of the they what they did is they gave us that good milk. They gave us that really good milk with that Breath of the Wild 2. You know what I mean? They were
Right.
like, "Oh, this is coming." And you were like, "Oh my god, is this milk? Or is this really milk?
But we're
Or is
not
this
we're
the
not
nectar of the
we're
gods?
not getting
What is this, Andy? What is this, Andy?"
we're
But
not
nay.
getting we're not getting a full direct, I think, prior to we're gonna get little ones. We just got a Pokemon one not too long ago.
Uh-huh.
With the Animal Crossing one.
We want a
Maybe an Indies
full
one.
direct. We want a real 45-minute. This is what we're doing for everything.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
This is what we're doing in 2020 and beyond. Watch it at
Yes.
E3. That's it.
But instead, Nintendo gives us these little drips of the nectar of the gods from their mother's nipple.
Mm-hmm.
So
The milk's got
that's
back.
that story. The milk is sour, ladies and gentlemen. The milk is sour. All right, let's move on to Sony's story of the week. And this is causing some conversation. And I want to have a discussion about this because I have facts that this article from Destructoid actually gets completely wrong.
Do one thing for me
Um,
first, Steven, is read the
all right.
headline. All right, read the headline for this article.
Yeah. Destructoid. The PlayStation 5 allegedly costs a minimum of $450 per unit to make, causing a price panic for Sony.
Stop. Full stop.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Two things about why I hate game
Destructoid.
journalism and them in particular now.
Nah, Destructoid's fine.
When you click on the link, it's a Bloomberg article, which, by the way, I found a good laugh. Bloomberg apparently has free articles that you get 2 per day, I think you can read,
Mm-hmm.
before it asks you for a subscription.
Yeah.
On the bottom it says, try for 3 months for $105, which is slashed out to $6.
Wow.
So there's that. That's the first thing I want to say. Second thing, if you control F, the word panic is not anywhere in that article whatsoever.
Right.
Right. Now, the third thing I want to say is, if you look at this article, it says, if you scroll down a bit,
Mhm.
it says we already know Sony and Nintendo are locked in the Cold War of pricing. So you click
Right.
on that. And
Uh-huh.
that headline says that Sony might be waiting for Xbox to blink first.
It's a Cold
So
War.
how do you go from a presumption to a declarative statement? You see what I'm saying?
Oh no, it's
Confirmation of
piss
a
poor.
locked-in Cold War
Yeah.
pricing. But
Well, this is what
we already
clickbait
know
does to
this.
journalism.
It's a fact that we know.
Anyway,
So with that,
so
with that to set the stage, you can elaborate how this is a piece of shit article with your facts.
well, whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we're definitely gonna do that. So
Right.
here's the article. I'm gonna read it to you.
Sure.
It's not that long.
The whole article?
Almost.
Sure.
It seems like everyone is holding their breath every time a new console is announced. Did they tell us the price? Is it $599 US? Well, we know that the Xbox Series X and the PS5 exist. We have their names at least, but we still don't know the price of the hardware. According to Bloomberg, it might be a while. We already know Sony and Microsoft are locked in a cold war of pricing, but a report from Bloomberg suggests that right now Sony is dealing with a part scarcity issue that is pushing the cost of the PlayStation 5 all the way up to $450. That's the manufacturing cost, mind. So the retail price will be at least that, if not higher. First thing they're saying wrong.
Yep.
Wrong.
Very wrong off the bat.
And the reason why that is completely wrong, we're gonna jump right into this because I actually put these in our Discord. So two facts that they got wrong. So first of all, in the next paragraph, they say, as the outlet points out, the PS4 was sold for $18 more than cost at launch. Wrong. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna read these real quick.
Do it, Steven. Just do it
Okay,
to it.
so PlayStation 4 will be sold at a loss at launch, but day one game sales and PlayStation Plus subscriptions will turn a profit. This was from Sony directly. Well, not really. It was from Sony people that spoke on anonymity back when the PS4 was coming out. According to well-placed sources, Sony is losing approximately $60, which is around 40 pound whatever, for every 399 PS4 units sold, which was their launch. However, they denied the figure, saying the company would easily make back the money with game and accessory purchases on launch day. Okay, so they took a $60 loss on PS4. Now, if you really want to get your mind blown, PS3. Remember that was $599 US.
Get a second
Remember
job,
that?
Steven. Get a second job.
Get a second job. Okay. Loss, this is coming from PC World. Loss per unit is, quote, remarkable. The combined materials and manufacturing costs for each device comes in at $806 for the 20 gigabyte hard drive model. Okay? That's excluding all of the cables and everything. With a suggested retail price of $499 for that 20 gigabyte model, Sony is taking a loss of $307 per console. The differential for the 60 gigabyte model is less, with the cost exceeding the price tag by $241. There is no panic. There will never be a panic. Sony has a history of selling their consoles at a loss for two reasons. One, they rely on their software and services to carry them through until materials are cheaper, which they become exponentially cheaper because console hardware is usually already behind the curve. They are already buying hardware and chips that are behind PCs. So they're not buying $1,000 chips. They're buying $500 chipsets or whatever the hell they do. They could sell it for $399, lose $100, and it doesn't fucking matter because they're going to sell you PS Plus memberships. They're going to sell you The Last of Us 2 again. They're going to sell you these up-resed games again, and they're going to make all of their money again. And they're going to tell us what their new PS Now is going to be like again. That is what they're going to do. That is what they have always done. There is no panic. Destructoid, shut your pie hole.
So there's a great assessment, I think it was on Forbes, that I think said with a lot of accuracy that the PS4 had about a $60 loss per console. And I think what's happening here, this might be a little bit tinfoil hat territory. I think it's these game journalists trying to goad a response from Sony, because they've been so quiet on everything lately with the PS5, with next gen in general. It's like, let's just spread some shit, or let's just blow up a rumor from Bloomberg of all places and sources. Like they're on the pulse of the video game news community,
Yeah, like
for some reason.
what's the video game beat look like?
Right,
At
at
Bloomberg?
fucking Bloomberg.
I turned on the Bloomberg network, a Bloomberg channel, whatever the hell it is, for like 15 minutes the other day,
Right.
just to see what it's about, and it is so fucking boring.
Right.
Holy shit. They tell you news like they are reading an obituary. Holy crap. The anchors on those shows are so drab.
You'd rather watch
and
Flies Fuck than listen to a
I
Bloomberg
would-
story.
Holy shit, man. I would rather watch how it's made, tell me how cardboard tubes are made, than watch a Bloomberg report. That was horrid. But anyway, that's the most trusted site in PlayStation news.
Right.
No,
But what's
the
upsetting is, hold on, to cut you off, but how these are professionals who don't know that consoles, Sony and Microsoft alike, are almost always sold at a loss for the same reasons every goddamn fucking time. This isn't news. This has like been around for years. It's what happens. Hardware doesn't make your money. Software does.
Yep.
So I don't understand what the big hullabaloo is all about. I don't get it.
I don't know.
But now we're
It
like,
doesn't make sense. This is literally how it's always been done.
Right.
They always talk about, oh, we're going to sell it at a loss because in a couple of years, that's all going to change. Like that. That's what I don't know. The early adopters are going to sell it or are going to buy it, right? And the early adopters are going to be what? At maybe 4 or 5 million people. Those are going to buy it at a loss. But you look at the PS4. Okay, in its first year, I think it sold 13 million.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that. I don't know,
13 to
but
16, I think somewhere along that range.
something. But
Right.
we're up to 110, 112 million. Like I would assume maybe 60, 75 million of those people bought it at them making a profit per system, maybe even multiple hundreds of dollars of profit on the base model, not the pro, because they put a little bit more juice in the pro.
Hmm.
But like, and again, that's conjecture, but I'm not putting a stamp and saying
Right.
that's fact.
Right.
But I'm not Bloomberg. I'm not going to do
Not
that.
destructive after all.
Right. But at the same time, like, I mean, it's common sense if you pay attention to gaming in any way, shape, or form over the past two console generations, which is when I got really into following games news. It's how I got into podcasts, was when the PS3 was coming out.
Uh-huh.
I just needed to know every single thing about it, and I remember that being such a mind fuck. Of wait a minute, you're telling me they're putting out a product which is already costing me $600, and they're losing almost $300
Right.
for it?
So, and if that didn't cause a panic, why would $50 cause a panic? Besides, a panic over what? What's the price it at? 500 or 400? Is that the big panic for Sony? Should we charge more or charge less? I don't understand.
Well, wait for Xbox to tell us
What's
what
the
they're going to do
panic?
first.
Oh, yeah, the Cold War pricing. The
Cold War.
the plot thickens.
Let's get Cuba
Fucking
involved.
stupid.
Anyway,
Yeah.
all right. Andy, take this next one.
All right. So Microsoft and Samsung are buddy buddy. Been buddies for a long time now.
Yeah, but
But now
they
they're
this
preparing.
got
This is like the Square Enix of E3 announcements. I feel because it's like things are happening, but stay tuned.
yeah.
I totally take back my praise of Forbes because now I have an ad block and I fucking can't turn it off. But the long and short of it is that Samsung and Bill Gates's folks are doing something with Samsung phones and potentially xCloud. What
Yep.
that means, we don't know yet. Could all new Samsung phones be bundled with the xCloud service? Could be.
Could be an
Yeah.
exclusivity thing for cell phone use. Um, I don't know. Like, I wonder if this will be retaliated, where maybe a Sony, because the Sony has their own phones, which are they look beautiful, but they run like shit.
Hmm. Hmm.
So maybe Sony, instead of doing remote play or whatever with their next iteration, the PS5 remote play,
Right.
maybe they do something with Apple, for example. Maybe they partner with Apple and say, okay, it's exclusive to Apple phones for a little while. I think that would be shooting themselves in the foot. We don't know if this is an exclusivity thing with Microsoft, so who the hell knows? But
Right. Well, there shouldn't be like a
what?
whole tit for tat thing. Like just because they do that, there should be a Sony
It's not.
equivalent
Yeah,
deal in the
I'm not
same
thinking.
vein.
I'm not thinking in the lines of reactionary. I'm
Right.
thinking in the lines of, like, typically these companies all think the same in that way, because they're all experts in their field. So like
Hmm.
they can see writing on the wall, and they know where things are trending, and they know that when they're selling a service that is so affordable, like a $15-$20 a month
Hmm.
to get these services, they know that if they partner up with somebody, they're going to get a bunch of money up front on top of their subscription services, and it's kind of a win-win for them. So I think that a lot of these companies kind of know that if they want to make more money up front, especially when they're trying to acquire games to be exclusive to their system, to their streaming services, it might benefit them to get some money up front so that they can allocate those funds to something else. Microsoft is always in a better position to do things like this. They don't need partnerships per se, so I'm interested to see where this goes, because Microsoft has Microsoft money. They don't. It's not
Right.
Xbox plays with Microsoft money,
Exactly.
whereas PlayStation plays with, for the
PlayStation
most
money.
part, PlayStation money.
Right.
Sony doesn't really fuck, like they don't they don't prop it up. I mean, obviously when PlayStation does well, Sony does well. When Sony's doing well, PlayStation benefits a little bit, but PlayStation is kind of its own thing in that ecosystem. So it's very interesting.
Right. But
We'll see.
again, at the end of the day, this seems like it's a non-announcement announcement.
Yeah.
There's a thing happening. Stay tuned for more information. Until then, speculate. Okay. Good stuff, guys. Great stuff.
Yep. Speaking of great stuff,
Oh God.
Andy, we got to pack it up because the wild card
Oh
is getting The wild card is
How
Rowdy,
was this not the hype zone?
because you've seen the hype zone,
I
Andy.
have seen it, but this seems like
Ladies and
oh
gentlemen,
boy,
Kotaku coming in with the hotness this
the
week. Our
spice.
wild card
Ooh,
is all
wait, I
about
just got the picture of Rhonda. God. Oh God, it's so unfortunate.
Rowdy Ronda Rousey, former UFC champion, former WWE Women's Champion, now known as just the WWE Championship.
Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat 11.
Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat 11, and aspiring streamer has gone from amateur streamer to professional streamer. That's right. Noted World of Warcraft fan, Mortal Kombat character, person with bad opinions about trans rights, and also WWE wrestler
Why
Ronda
is that
Rousey,
a part of the
is-
story?
because it's Kotaku.
Kotaku.
Right. Ronda Rousey is diving headfirst into the lucrative world of video game streaming. She's announced that, beginning next week, she'll be doing it exclusively for Facebook. In a post on Instagram, Rousey described video game streaming as, quote, one of the rawest and most authentic mediums, which is why she's decided to try her hand at it. In a press release, she said that that streaming will take her off the figurative mask she's crafted as a fighter and wrestler and to just be herself. Quote, through my streams, people can hang out with the real me, not the character version of myself they're used to seeing. She said, of course, streamers are still playing characters given that they have to dial their personalities up at least a small amount to keep viewers entertained, so your mileage might vary if you're hoping to get an authentic front row seat to the real deal. Ronda Rousey will be debuting with an Australian bushfire charity stream next Tuesday, with regular streams to follow every Monday morning. So yes, her first stream, which is February. Where is it? Where the hell is it?
The world.
I don't have the date
The
here.
world.
February 18th, so a couple of days from now, as of this recording, at 3 p.m. And 100% of all of her subs and donates and everything is going to go to the Australian bushfires.
I just really love Kotaku and their reporting. Like, just say part-time Hitler, Ronda Rousey. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
But listen, it's nice to see someone who is, taking an interest in gaming because, she dipped her toe into voice acting and face modeling for MK11, which, my stance on her performance in that game. It was pretty raw, I should say so myself. But, great. Play games. More power to you.
Yeah, any sort of mainstream, any sort of person who could bring in mainstream attention to gaming, that will bring that in a positive note. That isn't somebody saying, "Oh,
this isn't the
I don't
time
know.
where we have to legitimize gaming. It's already been through that. With the money it makes, it's a legitimate industry. Now it's like people who see it's legitimate. How can I profit from this amazing industry? That's
Right.
I mean, I get the whole bushfire charity stream. It's a noble effort. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, nerds play video games and female streamers get a lot of money because of tits. I have those. I have
For the most part.
fans. And, her industry and gaming have a nice little cross section, I imagine. So it's like a no-brainer for her. So great. Just in the future, I think Kotaku picked a bad picture on purpose, given how they framed her personality in this article.
That was a rip from wasn't that a rip from the video announcement? I'm pretty sure that because the whole announcement of it is her in bed.
Could have picked a better picture of her. She looks very rough in this image.
It was a press release. All right, if that wasn't the hype zone, this next one will explain why it's not the hype zone. Jesus Christ, Animal Crossing people, y'all are thirsty for information, and it is getting ridiculous out here. Just stupid at this point.
Steven, these are the updates we all need and deserve.
Hashtag, this is for... Go ahead.
These are the updates that all the fans who are counting days from the last direct, this is what you get when you think you're owed something. This is the news you get. Go on.
Hashtag, and I don't even know if this is news. So this is from the hashtag Animal Crossing on Instagram. This is coming from a user, Animal Crossing Updates. Caption: Did y'all notice this? Laughing, crying. Our character kneecaps now have details.
Way more detail.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Animal
Yeah.
Crossing characters have kneecap detail.
When the character's face looks like Chucky's nightmare, we have detailed kneecaps.
We do.
That's
Now,
what matters in Animal Crossing.
what that means going forward for video gaming, let me explain something to you.
Yes.
I remember on PlayStation 3
Mm-hmm.
playing Call of Duty,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when they were holding the gun
Yes.
and they reloaded, I could see a thumbnail
Yes. Yes. Yes.
of the character.
Yes.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Look at that detail.
Mm-hmm.
Animal Crossing has finally given us kneecaps.
You know, I recall that
Have you ever seen kneecaps,
I
Andy?
haven't. I haven't.
In video games?
Only when I'm breaking them in real life.
Word.
But you know, I do recall there was an E3. I think it was when one of the Call of Duty games was first unveiled, and they were talking about the how realistic the dogs were in the game.
I remember
How
this,
the
yes.
hair and the fur was just so authentic to a real live dog. Nintendo has dwarfed
Mm-hmm.
our perceptions of what graphics and detail are today.
I'm pretty sure
But wait a minute, Steven.
Animal Crossing characters don't have fingers.
They don't. They just have rubber ball hands.
Right.
But I think this sort of
They have
semi
kneecaps.
confirms they have balls for hands. Their kneecaps are their hands. This sort of confirms the Switch Pro because the Switch OG can handle this level of detail,
Accurate.
right?
Accurate.
Right? Fight me on this. I think it's true.
I think that's the name of the episode.
Right.
Switch Pro confirmed.
Yeah. With the kneecap emoji.
Absolutely.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
All right.
No, maybe. All right, it is time to get into the mailbag. That was the hype zone, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking that ride with us. Before we do, let's tell you about our sponsors. We have meltedpins.com. Artist Kelsey Lynn of Kinda NYC, who is hosting this right now. Thank you very much, Kelsey. We appreciate you. Has her own website. It's meltedpins.com, and she does original tattoo art inspired enamel pins, buttons, all sorts of fun stuff. I'm actually looking for mine on my desk, and I don't know where I put it. But it was close. Anyway, if you go to meltedpins.com and you find something that you like, all these things are hand-drawn. They're really beautiful pieces. Some of them are really funny. Just really nice art, and we love our Kelsey. So if you go to meltedpins.com and use the checkout code NDSmelted, you will get 10% off of your order. Full stop. That's it. Full stop. You get it. Just for you. Just for you.
And no one else.
No one else that's
Just for
listening.
you.
Only the people who are listening or watching.
Right.
It's very simple. Very simple. Again, if you want to follow Melted Pins, you can do so at Melted Pins. All right, that's meltedpins.com, promo code NDSmelted, 10% off of your order. And our second sponsor of 3. That's right, Andy. I'm sneaking in a third
There's
sponsor.
a third sponsor?
Just wait.
Are we famous yet?
Just wait.
Okay.
Just wait.
I'm waiting.
Patrick Hickey Jr. is the minds behind the adventure games, which is out now, and it is officially on Amazon Kindle, which is the cheapest way to get it. So if you are strapped on cash, now is your chance to get in there. I think it's only $10. Get in there, download this thing because it is fantastic. This is featuring interviews with the creators of 31 of popular video games, including Grand Theft Auto, Strider, Maximum Carnage, and Pitfall. The book gives behind-the-scenes looks at the origins of some of the most enjoyable and iconic adventure games of all time. This is the second book in Patrick Hickey Jr.'s series. The third book is coming out in a couple of months, which is the minds behind the sports games. I think sports is next, and then he's also doing shooters. He's announced both of those, so those games are coming out soon. They're fantastic books. If you want to learn, if you want to know about video games and how they were made and the intense pressure that they were made under, these books are for you. So you could go to Amazon, you could go to Barnes and Noble, you could go actually the Google Play Store, I think, where they sell books there. You can get it digitally as well. And of course you can get them from patrickhickeyjr.com. If you do that, that's patrickhickeyjr.com. If you do that, he personalizes every order. He literally fills the order in his living room. He takes pictures, puts it on Instagram. He's like, look at all the orders I'm filling out. If you take a selfie with the book and tag him, he puts it on his on his social media. He make like little collages of all the people that buy his book. He's really an awesome dude, and he's doing some incredible interviews. So please check out that. That's again the minds behind the adventure games, and his original book was The Minds Behind the Games. Again, that's patrickhickeyjr.com. And our third sponsor, Andy,
Yeah.
dualscreens.com/store.
Oh.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have a hyperlink, and you
Okay.
can buy merchandise that we made for you, that Teespring is actually making for you, from us. Our logos, our designs. More designs are coming. But represent us. Are you going to PAX East and you want to wear some Dual Screens merch? You know what I'm talking about? Our Patreon people who have the physical merch tier, they're getting their shirts. They're on the way, guys. They're on the way. Let us know how you like them. All right? dualscreens.com/store. We'll send you directly to our Teespring. We're going to have more shirts, more stickers, more canvas crap, just whatever you could think of. Mugs. We have mugs all over the place. Go there. Throw the link in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, because you need to know about this. We have merch. Who's going to be the first? Who's going to be the first purchaser? Who's going to do it? Who's going to do it?
That brave soul.
Who's going to be that brave soul? Okay. All right.
Mailbag.
It is time to get into the mailbag, and we have a couple of really great questions here. And the first one, as tradition, is going to come from our Patreon producer, Colton, the Apprentice Nestler, via our mailbag on Discord, on our secret Discord, which you can join at patreon.com/NDS podcast. Colton says, what room is the favorite one in a house for the following characters? Master Chief, Mario, Sora, Sonic, Link, and Jack.
That's a lot of people.
And
I've already lost
Ezio.
track. And Ezio, okay.
So, I don't know why he chose these characters. I don't pretend to try and understand how Colton's mind works, but, I mean, whatever. So, Master Chief, I'm going with the bathroom.
That was my choice, too.
Because it's the only place he's going to take off that helmet and take a shower, right?
Right.
He doesn't take the helmet off. That's the only place that he can. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
His living room, somebody could bust in, be like, I see your face,
Right.
fucker.
And it's
And
all
he's like,
ruined.
no.
Then he's got to kill him.
Yeah, and then he's just got to murder somebody.
Right.
So the bathroom is the only place he could be non-murdering.
Right.
Non-murdering. Mario, I'm gonna go with the.
I would say kitchen.
See, I was gonna go kitchen, but I'm thinking I'm gonna go bathroom because there's multiple pipes.
Right.
Yeah, there's multiple pipes.
He sees pipes all day long at work.
Yeah. He is Italian.
You gotta enjoy the cake that Peach got him.
I'm gonna go with dining room.
Because he's eating a lot.
Because he's a guinea like me, and that's where we eat our dinner.
All
We go to the dining room. We have
eating.
all the pasta meatballs.
I got this.
You got your kitchen.
He has one of those
cacciatore.
He has a kitchen/dining room. There's no wall between them.
Right. Oh, of course
He
not.
can watch the food being
Open
wait
concept.
for it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Who's next on?
A nice chandelier, maybe some plastic over the furniture, over the chairs. He's got to put the leaf in the table for when Luigi and the kids come over.
Seeing that fresh mutz being prepared, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. The maybe burrata.
The ricotta, you know.
Semolina bread on the table, nice with the mozzarella carots. Who knows?
All right.
Who knows?
Who's next?
Mario's a good guy. Sora.
Oh, easy bedroom.
Yeah, just.
He just burnt out by all the bad writing. He's taking a nap.
Terrible writing. Sonic. Sonic is the living room. That's where he's going to be having his pizza, watching his shows. He loves his shows. He loves to kick
the
it.
chili
relax.
dogs on the couch, and the front door is right there. He's got to dash out in an instant.
Oh yeah, he'll be fine.
Right.
Link, I'm going with the kitchen. I feel like he's a good chef. I feel like he would like to cook a lot.
Well, Breath of the Wild.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a little bit of a amateur chef.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Jack, I am going with the garage.
Ooh, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
I feel like he's just one of those dudes that wants to tinker away with shit. I'm not like super knowledgeable about him.
A busted up car, you know, he can
just
put back together.
Maybe have a little AM radio, talk radio on. And he's
just keeping his hands busy, basically.
Right.
Keep him busy.
And Ezio Auditore.
Ezio's in the basement. He's hiding out.
I'm going with
or the roof.
Study and or library.
What house is a study and their library? Where you in a fucking mansion?
Well,
Dude,
whatever.
where's your study and library in your
It's
house?
olden times. You have a study. You're in your study, I think.
Well, that's an office. You can call it a
Yeah,
study.
that's
It's
what.
got
Yeah,
books
but
in
he
it.
didn't. They didn't have offices. It's not like they
Right.
had like computers and shit.
And then he's on the roof sunbathing slash wait to take for his next kill.
Andy, we didn't pick our winners and losers, as I was just reminded in the chat.
Right.
I forgot about that. No, Buzz, you
Everyone's a
didn't miss
loser
it.
this week.
So after finishing this question, so actually that we finished the question. So now
Everyone's a
let's
fucking
go up.
loser.
So I
I don't
think,
know. I don't know who lost worse. That's what I feel
yeah,
like.
I think the winner. Oh fuck.
Telling you, winners Media Molecule and losers everybody else. That's my opinion on the whole matter. Winners are horny teens who get to watch Ronda Rousey play video games and jerk off to that.
None
for
of
a
these
change.
stories were particularly good, but I guess Microsoft is the winner because at least it was a positive story.
Right? Sure. Well,
And the loser,
it's a story. It's a real story.
yeah,
Not
and the
like,
loser's Nintendo because god
right.
damn it, give us a direct. Stop it.
All
All
right.
right.
I could.
Back
I
to our
could.
mail.
Yeah, I think they're all just losers to me. I don't have a winner. But
This is coming from Blood Dragoner.
oh,
Dragooner.
a recent addition to the Discord chat.
Yes. Via our Discord, yes. What type of new genres would you guys be hyped for if they were to emerge? What would you consider innovative in the styles you choose and why?
Let's see. If you had asked me this a year ago, I would have said the first Strand game, but we already got that recently, so that's out of the
Right,
window.
Strand. Yeah, because you would have known what a Strand
Strand
was.
game. So I have to think of what a new genre would be and what it would look like and what it would play like and why it would excite me. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah,
This is a very loaded question. I'm not that creative.
I know. Huh. Huh.
Because I feel like when you merge genres together, something fun happens, but it's hard to think of what could look like a brand new thing in the industry.
Like, wasn't there recently a RPG soccer game? Where like,
But that's still just an RPG though, when you think about it. It's just sports.
yeah, I
You're
guess.
merging sports and an RPG.
Yeah, but that makes it a new genre. Sport, like
Right.
a Japanese
Sure.
sports PG.
Sure.
Um,
I don't know. This is a very loaded question.
I think, yeah, this is interesting. Like I had an idea of combining football or like rugby with turn-based strategy. I started kind of developing that.
Right.
What about real-time level design platforming game?
So as you're platforming, you're building
So
the
here's how it
platforms,
works. In Ultimate Chicken Horse,
right?
how you
Yeah, you
get
have
you
to.
get an
You
item.
each get to build part of the level. You have to kind of overcome the obstacles, and if you
So now
survive, you
go
keep going.
backwards.
Yeah.
So now here's how it is. It's Mario Maker,
Right.
but I'm building the level.
Right.
You are navigating the level.
So
So
it's
as you're moving left to right, I am placing things for you to get through while and only platforms and mechanisms, not enemies. The enemies are there though.
that sounds like so the entire level has nothing. It is one giant hazard.
Right.
And the player one is just dropped into a world, and you're building me land and places to jump onto to keep me
And
safe.
bridges and slides and maybe warp areas and like you have to trust me
It kind
that
of
I'm not gonna fuck
kind
you.
of sounds like a more evolved version of what Gyromite was back in the day. 'Cause
Oh,
that
interesting.
was a two-player game, which had the robot, which would control the pipes that
God
go
damn
up
it,
and
Rob.
down.
Yeah, I
But
remember
if
that.
you
Yeah.
plugged in a second controller, then your friend could control the pipes
Right.
and raise and lower them to like crush enemies and create platforms for you to guide you to
Right.
safety.
That's
So,
exactly yeah.
right.
But I like I picture this being like a race against time kind of thing. Like you gotta fucking think on your feet.
Right.
You have like this is what you do. What happens
Got
is
the
when you
speed of
first load it up,
Sonic.
when you first load it up, you get a screenshot of the type of level it is. Like maybe it's a lava level with spikes.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a screenshot, and the two of you are talking over your either side by side or over the internet, and you're like, okay, all right, I see lava, I see some flying creatures, I see spike pits, I see this, okay, and then this picture goes away, and then you get 12 items to choose from,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have 30 seconds. Oh shit, okay, so let's get the slide, let's get the springs, we'll get this platform, that platform, we'll get these. Oh shit, 3, 2, 1, okay, whatever, pick, and you only get to pick like 6 out of the 12 or whatever. So now you have your items, and then it's 3, 2, 1. Here it goes. Maybe it's an auto scroller, so that you have to put shit there,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to get through the level to the end, whatever it may be. Maybe the level's only 30 seconds long, maybe
Sure.
less, sometime less than a minute, but you have to like place everything and kind of navigate, and then and I think that'd be an awesome streaming game. And
Mm-hmm.
if you are listening to this,
You're an indie game
and
dev.
you can't steal that
You
trademark.
can't steal it.
All right, this next. I hope that answers your question,
Right.
Blood Dragooner. This is coming from Peter via our Discord. Since we haven't talked about our favorite Zelda games before,
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with this question here.
Okay.
What's our favorite version of Link?
Oh, I have two. Two for that category. I love you, Toon Link, because he's
Mhm.
super cute and he's ultra expressive with his face.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And to see everyone be so pissed off at his existence, because everyone thought when we're going into the GameCube era, we would get some ultra refined, detailed, adult looking, mature, M-rated Link adventure. And we got this cartoon Link, which
Mm-hmm.
sort of was like, here's a middle finger, everyone. We're going cutesy with this. And everyone's rage made me love him all the more. And he's super cute. And my other favorite version of Link is the Ocarina / Majora's Mask
Okay.
version
Yeah.
of Link. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's become the de facto 3D Link.
Right.
Um, and the other one is like the 2D one is like the um not Link's
Past.
Awakening, A Link to the Past. Yeah.
Right.
First of all, I really like that guy,
Mhm.
the Link's Awakening.
Mhm.
I love his design, but I'm going with well, excuse me, princess.
What? That shouldn't even count.
I
Why?
love that, and he does count because he was the Link. I believe that was the Link
Why
from some of
not
those
pick the
3DO
Link from
games.
like the CDI games?
That's what, yeah, the CDI, yeah. It's like that same. I love that artistry. I love the that design of
Like a
Link.
really
He's
bad
he's
animation.
douchey, yes. He's douchey, but I love the excuse me Link
Oh my
from the
God,
animated
dude.
series.
What a just a great personality to give your hero.
Well, excuse me, princess. Love it. All right, here is our. I hope that answers your question, Peter. Here is our
Is it Kirsch?
novel from
Yes.
Mikey Kirsch over on
Can't wait.
Discord.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Hold on, I need a drink. Hold on. Okay. Via Discord.
Yeah. Okay.
Just this week, the prototype Sony / Nintendo collaboration console, endearingly called the Nintendo PlayStation, was listed for auction. Only 200 of these prototypes were ever made, and most, if not all but this one, were destroyed. What's crazy is that the prototype works, and the sellers even played a few rounds of Mortal Kombat to test it. The current bidding price has risen past $350,000. And the argument in the video game community is that instead of selling it, the system should be donated to a museum, given its notorious history and importance in shaping the future Nintendo and Sony consoles. Now, game history preservation is a pretty hot topic recently, too, because video game companies have been historically bad at holding onto their shit, and maybe even worse at allowing the public access to it via gaming databases, museums, etc. I feel like anybody who cares enough about a mysterious video game console to pay $350,000 for it is also probably willing to do their part to preserve video game history, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you trust a private buyer to partake in gaming preservation, or would you rather have the console in a museum that provides wider and easier public access? How do we help the general public understand the importance of video game history and the necessity to preserve it? Still loving the show. Heart emoji. Keep it up.
Will that change after we answer this question? Still
I
love
don't
your
know.
show,
We'll see.
guys, but answer carefully.
Personally,
Yeah, huh?
I do think something like this belongs in a museum.
Okay.
But what I think needs to happen is the museum for this type of thing needs to exist first.
Yes. See, that's my exact thought. Because wait, a long time ago, when I was a insane and didn't pay rent and lived at home, I would buy extravagant things that cost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And one year for my friend's birthday, I bought him a Sega Dreamcast HKT dev kit.
Ooh.
It was about like $5,000.
Oh Jesus. Okay. All right. Here we go.
So these kinds of things, like there weren't many of them around. It was one of, again, not that many. But things like that should be preserved someplace.
Right.
The same with, you know, the Sega Saturn prototype or dev kits for current and last gen and ages ago generations systems. But there's no actual home for these places to exist in.
Right. It's scattered. Like
Right.
the Nintendo NYC shop or whatever, that has the nuked Game Boy.
But that's
The one that
that's
was
the
hit
that's
with a
the
missile.
the Golf 4 Game Boy.
Right.
But that's the or is it the yeah. But that's the only relic in there. There's also again, it's all their newer shit. Like here's a Nintendo, it says Nintendo, Super
Right.
Nintendo, Famicom, which you can buy today because they're available out there for sale,
Right.
even brand new.
It's those one of a kind items.
Right.
Like there was the Museum of Film and Television or site or scene and television. I forget what it is, but I think it's out in Queens. Like they had so many cool things. They had like Indiana Jones's jacket. They had like the
Right.
model of the I guess I don't know if it was Jurassic Park. I forget what movie it was, but it was like it might have been Back to the Future, but it was like the street model, like the like where they actually shot.
Right.
No, it was Saving Private Ryan, I think.
I got it.
And it was one of the beach scenes where they like it was so remarkable. Like shit like that needs to be saved.
So I
Like
got it.
go
Solution.
ahead.
I think if video game journalists are going to be citing Bloomberg
Oh shit.
for their news bits and rumors,
Here we go.
then Bloomberg should drop out of the race, take his
Oh.
$60 billion and open up a video game museum to legitimize his website's news reporting on video games. Only then will I take it seriously.
But like, you know, I'm questioning it and I'm thinking like, okay, where would a museum like that exist?
Japan seems like it's like the obvious choice because that's where a
Right.
lot of this stuff comes from.
And maybe they have it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like they
Yeah.
have
Well, if
you
you
know, they
walk down
have places
Akihabara,
like
it's
that.
fucking it's like a time
The whole
capsule.
the whole thing is a museum.
Right.
But here in the States, like I feel like New York City should have like a place where you
First of
can
all,
go and
let's
learn
also
about
I
this
think
thing.
there's a fear that if this isn't in the hands of a museum, it'll be destroyed or lost to time somehow. If someone's paying that amount of money for it, it's going to be put in a safe place. Remember those like the Panasonic GameCube
Yeah,
that exists somewhere.
those are still out there. Yeah.
Those are out there. Um yeah, so I feel like someone's going to buy this thing for some reason. I don't know why. Um it'll be kept pretty safe, I imagine. It'll get passed down through the years until it goes back on auction again. I just don't get why they were destroyed, though. Seems like a mistake. So many of them.
Because they were just mad at each other.
Right. Burn them all!
Those assholes.
Right. But yes, I like Kirsch's sentiment. I feel like that place should exist. It might exist for all we know. But if it does, let's say it exists in Japan. It's still lost on most people outside of Japan who can't get to see it. So
Right.
what's changed? Anyway.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
That is it for our questions. That's it. We did it.
How's the chat doing? Hey, chat.
Yes. So this is where we would normally talk about the Retro Game Club, but we're actually going to do that next week because that's when we're actually going to discuss playing it. I, of course, was assigned Silent Bomber, and Andy was assigned Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. So now, before we get to the end of the show, let's check in with our chat. Chat! What do you want to say? Tell us what you want to tell us. Anything you feel like we missed? Is there a story that you think we missed? Maybe drop a link in the chat.
There was some
Do you
breaking
want to hear?
news during the show, actually.
There was? Okay, breaking news. Andy, hit us with the breaking
So
news.
there's been a ratings sighting for Catherine Full Body and XCOM 2 collection for the Switch.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. That's
And
cool.
you know what? I held off buying Catherine, the remake / adding a third Catherine to the game.
Right.
Because it wasn't a high priority for me because I already played the game. But a Switch version I will buy in a heartbeat because it's on the go. And that game is made for portable travel. It's just puzzles.
Right.
And it's very grab and go sort of gameplay. So
Kind of like a 7-Eleven.
right.
They just grab and go.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
They don't have security. They're not going to stop you.
Oh,
There's
also,
cameras.
apparently the Bulletstorm devs are working on a Destiny-style shooter.
Yes.
And it looks
Yes.
pretty good, according to Polygon, that is. Do we need more of these kind of games? I'm just curious.
Maybe.
What was it? Outlanders? Is that what it's called? Or Outriders? Or was it Outriders?
Outright. Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was Outriders.
So that was revealed the last week as well. And it looks like a third-person Destiny game.
Yeah.
So this is now a new subgenre, I feel, is what's emerging.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Oh, there was another one. There was another news. Anthem is getting rebooted.
oh wait a minute, this is Outriders. That's Bulletstorm's
Yeah.
game. Duh.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, actually, we might have. Did we
Thought
talk about
was
it
a
last
different
week?
game.
Did we talk about
Which?
they're rebooting Anthem?
Oh,
I feel like
2.0.
I don't know if we. Yeah, they're essentially going back to the drawing board and are gonna a Realm Reborn that shit.
You know
So
what?
if
It
you're-
might
if,
work.
if
for
you're
them.
one
It
of the
worked.
30,000 people that are still playing that.
30 or 3,000. What'd you say?
I don't know.
Of
I'm
the-
assuming
of the
30.
30
I don't know, I
people?
could be wrong. Buzz dropped a link in the chat here. Japanese Nintendo Switch Online subscribers will be able to play Dead Cells for free. Nintendo has run a couple of promotions for Nintendo Online subscribers in Japan. Previously, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker and Fire Emblem Warriors were offered entirely for free during a limited period. Now the
Mm.
program is expanding to third-party offerings. Today, Nintendo announced that Dead Cells will be completely free to play between February 24th and March 1st, assuming you're a Nintendo Switch Online member. There's no limit on how much of the game can be played, and you're able to transfer progress to the full version if you buy it.
So this sounds like Game Pass,
That's yeah,
Or-
like yeah,
right?
but like more like PS Plus
Right.
because it's like
No,
very
PS
it's a
Plus is for forever.
a month.
Once you get no. Once you get the game, you own it forever.
Oh right. Yeah, but if you miss the win, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
This is like it's a small window of time you can play the game for free if you have the
Yeah,
service.
I got you. I got you.
It's like their take on a Game Pass, which, sure, it
Sure.
sounds kind of nice.
Thank you.
I like free shit too.
Buzz says it sounds like Xbox free play weekends, but a little bit longer.
Well,
good point.
if it's for like a month at a time, it can't be a weekend. I assume it's
No,
more than
Xbox does free play weekends
right.
where they'll
Well,
put
so
up a
do
game
other
for free on the
games
weekend.
like
But this Dead Cells was only for a week, so
it's a week, then that's fine.
yeah, it was a week.
Okay.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for the show. That's it. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to get to the end here. If you like what you listen to, please give us a subscription. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe. And if you're watching on twitch.tv/dual screen streams, which we do the show live each and every week on Sunday nights, sometimes Saturday if Sunday's too booked up, but whatever. No big deal. Hit the follow button. And subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, you have a Twitch Prime subscription, you could use that as a free subscription to this channel, and it helps keep the lights on over here at Dual Screens. If you want to follow us on social media, you could do so. We're at NDS Podcast. That's NDS Podcast. I am at Batchild27. Andy is at Pansky. And you can join our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Dual Screens Podcasts. We want to thank our contributors to the show, Zazu Pitts of Sour Note Productions, Matt Murray, as we've mentioned him about 100 times this episode, Andrew Douglas for our art. You can follow him on social media at Angimoto, Angimoto. Again, if you want to support us, you want to catch the post show, which is all about the Backlog Accountability Club, which we're going to record right at the end of this. You could do so at patreon.com/NDS podcast. And again, we were sponsored by the minds behind the adventure games on patrickhickeyjr.com, meltedpins.com, and our store, dualscreens.com/store. Store?
Shop.
Yes.
Store.
Shop? Store. Store.
Store shop.
Not shop.
Shop.
Shiva. Stop telling me things. Andy, is there anything you want to tell the kids before we go?
Yeah, two things. We're recording today, which is tomorrow, time of this recording, Monday night, the day this podcast comes out. We're talking to Vertigo Gaming about Cook Serve Delicious 3, which
Yes.
we kind of teased that a few weeks back, and then there was an incident.
Yes,
Led to a delay.
there was.
But we evolve, we adapt, we make things work. So, which is out now for early access, by the way.
Right, me.
We'll plug that during the interview.
We'll plug it. It'll be
And
plugged.
last but not least, I am racking my brain trying to finalize our new business card designs for PAX East.
Oh,
It's getting there. Looks sexy-ish,
it does.
but it's getting to like a good place. And hopefully I can get that done by tomorrow. Tomorrow, which is Monday, Tuesday. I should talk about days.
Days are hard.
I'm trying
Days are
to
really
make
hard.
it make sense for when this
We're
comes
recording
out.
in the present, which is the past, but also
The
present,
future.
and we're talking about the future.
Right.
Anyway, thank you so
And
much
that's
for
it.
listening. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Andy. I love you all. And please, as always, please be excellent.